I was betrayed and humiliated by a fake friend, but one night at the bar saved me. It all started like any other Friday night. Our group had gathered at Mark's place to hang out, debate which movie to watch, and enjoy some pizza. Nicole was there, sitting cross-legged on the couch, laughing at something silly I said. That laugh, it was effortless, bright, and it lit up the room. I shouldn't have been staring, but I couldn't help it. The way her hair cascaded over her shoulders, the sparkle in her eyes when she smiled, it was magnetic. Every moment with her felt special, like we were the only two people in the room. Ethan? Mark waved a hand in front of my face, snapping me back to reality. You zoned out. Man, you okay? Yeah, I replied quickly, grabbing a slice of pizza. Just thinking about the game tomorrow. He grinned. We're gonna crush them. But my mind wasn't on basketball, it was on Nicole. She wasn't just stunning, she was kind, funny, and we shared so many interests: music, books, even a weird obsession with vintage arcade games. The more time I spent with her, the deeper I fell. The guilt gnawed at me every time I saw her with Mark. They seemed happy, but I noticed the small things: how he'd dismiss her opinions or forget little promises. She deserved better, but who was I to interfere? He was my friend, after all. One night, the weight of my feelings became too much to bear. I headed over to Ryan's place, hoping to get some advice. Ryan, I began, slumping onto his couch. I need to tell you something, but you have to promise to keep it between us. He raised an eyebrow, a sly grin forming. Sounds serious, spill. I took a deep breath. I think I'm in love with Nicole. He whistled softly. Mark's girl? That's complicated. I know. I groaned. I feel terrible about it. I'd never act on it, but I can't stop thinking about her. He leaned back, eyes glinting with something I couldn't quite place well. Secrets are safe with me. Man, maybe you should tell her how you feel. I can't do that to Mark. I insisted. I just needed to tell someone. He patted my shoulder. No worries, your secret's safe here. Relief washed over me. Thanks, Ryan, I appreciate it. A couple of days later, while grabbing coffee at our favorite cafe, Mark barged in, his face flushed with anger. Ethan, he shouted, causing heads to turn. We need to talk now. I stood up, confused. What's going on? Don't play dumb. He snarled. Ryan told me everything: how you think I don't deserve Nicole and that you're planning to steal her from me. My heart sank. What? I never said that. Stop lying. His eyes were filled with hurt and fury. I trusted you, and you go behind my back like this? Mark, I swear, that's not true. Ryan must have misunderstood or something. He shook his head. I thought you were my friend. Then, in a shocking move, he spat at me before storming out. I stood there, stunned, as whispers and stares from the other patrons enveloped me. Humiliation burned my cheeks. Fuming, I marched over to Ryan's apartment. He opened the door with a smug look. Why, hello, Ethan, he drawled. Why did you lie to Mark about what I said? I demanded. He feigned innocence. Lie? I just told him what you told me. You twisted my words. I never said he didn't deserve her or that I'd steal her. He smirked. Maybe I heard what you really meant. Why are you doing this? I asked, desperation creeping into my voice. He stepped closer, his expression darkening. Because I can, and maybe I like seeing you squirm. I realized then that Ryan wasn't the friend I thought he was. You're sick, I whispered before turning away. That evening, seeking solace, I found myself at a dimly lit bar downtown. The hum of conversation and clinking glasses did little to soothe my turmoil. I nursed a beer, contemplating how everything had spiraled out of control. As I headed to the restroom, I noticed Ryan in a corner, engaged in a hushed conversation with a shady-looking guy. Curiosity piqued. I watched from a distance. Ryan discreetly handed over small packets in exchange for cash. My eyes widened. He was dealing drugs. A mix of anger and opportunity surged within me. Pulling out my phone, I discreetly recorded the transaction evidence. The next morning, I confronted Ryan once more. Ryan, I said coldly, holding up my phone. Care to explain this? He glanced at the screen, and his face paled. Delete that now. Not happening. I replied firmly. You're going to tell Mark the truth, that you lied, or this video goes straight to the police. He sneered, but there was fear in his eyes. You wouldn't dare. I met his gaze steadily. Try me. After a tense moment, he relented. Fine, I'll talk to him. True to his word, Ryan confessed to Mark. Later that Ryan confessed to Mark. Later that afternoon, Mark showed up at my place, his face a mixture of anger and regret. I opened the door cautiously, unsure of what to expect. Ethan, he began, his voice heavy. Ryan told me the truth. I'm sorry for what I said and did. I should have trusted you. I let out a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. Mark, I'd never betray you like that. You're my friend. And Nicole, I hesitated, searching for the right words. She's important to you. I respect that. He nodded slowly, his eyes meeting mine. I let my jealousy get the best of me. When Ryan said those things, he paused, looking ashamed. I acted like an idiot, spitting at you. I'm sorry, man. I extended my hand, and after a moment, he shook it. It's in the past, I said, meaning it. But things weren't the same after that. While Mark and I patched things up on the surface, there was an underlying tension whenever Nicole was around. I tried to push my feelings aside, to focus on our friendship, but it wasn't easy. A week later, Nicole pulled me aside after one of our usual group hangouts. "Ethan, can we talk?" she asked, her tone serious. "Of course," I replied, my heart racing. We stepped out onto Mark's porch, the cool night air brushing against my skin. "Mark told me everything," she said, her expression unreadable. I froze. "Everything?" She nodded. "About what Ryan did, and how you..." She trailed off, her cheeks flushing. "I'm sorry," I blurted out. "I never wanted to cause any trouble. You're Mark's girlfriend, and I respect that." Ethan," she interrupted, her voice soft. "It's okay. I wanted to say thank you, for not acting on your feelings, for being honest." I swallowed hard, unsure of what to say. "You and Mark were taking a break," she admitted, surprising me. I realized I need to figure some things out, and honestly, she hesitated, then looked up at me, her eyes searching mine. "You've always been a good friend. Maybe we could hang out sometime, just the two of us?" I stared at her, torn between hope and guilt. "Nicole, I don't want to ruin anything between you and Mark. He's my friend." She smiled faintly. "I'm not asking for anything right now. Just think about it." As she walked back inside, I was left on the porch, my emotions a tangled mess. I didn't know what the future held, but one thing was clear: this was only the beginning of a complicated chapter in all our lives.